Welcome back to SEWCT. I'm Chef T, your host, and today we are covering a lot of stuff, guys. We're going to start out with a article I found right here on BizJournals, bizjournals.com. Growing Denver restaurants chain Garbanzo Mediterranean Fresh files for bankruptcy protection. So many restaurants, as we know, have been struggling during this pandemic, and it's been hard for them to make ends meet. As we see, there's been difficulties with dining in, and sometimes some difficulties with dining out. We'll get into that article in a minute. Moving on, this article is found on thegardennews.com, and forgive me, guys. Some of these websites, they have so much ads on their sites, and it runs. There we go, popped up. So yeah, save time while cooking healthy meals. So this article here, I thought would be save a lot of time when you do cook your healthy meals, especially when you cook your meals way in advance. Just from my own personal take as a chef and my career in the chef industry as well. As you see, this is a site that takes a lot of time to load, but we're going to move on, and hopefully when we start reading the article, you can actually see it, and that could be something that may be of interest of you guys. Check them out. I suggest checking them out. They have a lot of articles around lifestyle, food, recipes, and all that good stuff. So the biggest mistakes people make with their freezer, according to appliance repair pros. So this is interesting. We make a lot of little silly mistakes in the kitchen that we can fine tune and hopefully create a better, better rhythm in the kitchen, if you want to say. It's not really a word I was looking for, but as you see here, you start out with number one, you're leaving your door open. I've done this many of times. We'll talk about the rest of the article and the stuff they list out. It's pretty interesting. I think you guys would like it. Moving on to the CBD topic. CBD vape in Germany face new advertising bans, reporting requirements. So CBD manufacturers and retailers in Germany will face a marketing and regulatory minefield starting in January because of recent changes to the country's tobacco law. So I'm curious to see how this will play out in Germany, but also see how this will play out globally, especially here in the US. Let's move on. So Forbes.com featured an article, literally, I was going to say a couple of days ago, but actually it's not a couple of days, it's like a day ago, not even that much. I guess depending on when I upload this, right? Anyhow, IRS sees Bitcoin tied to terrorists. U.S. Postal Service files blockchain voting pattern. I knew this was coming, guys. I knew the blockchain pattern was going to be coming to the Postal Service. I was saying, the whole voting, just because I am constantly researching and reading and every single day, it was that they are going to use blockchain to create the transparency between voting. So this is really interesting to see how this plays out, where this goes. I'm excited, and hopefully you are too. All right, let's go right into the beginning. BizJournals.com. Growing Denver restaurants chain Garbanzo Mediterranean Fresh files for bankruptcy protection. So sad, guys. Sad. Yeah. Garbanzo Mediterranean Fresh has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, a move that CEO James Park said was made largely because of 48% of the company's location, position in non-traditional settings like universities and airports, have remained closed since mid-March. Those 12 locations, 10 on higher education campuses and 2 at airports, will reopen this month, and some of the 13 stores with continuing operation have improved sales over 2019. Park told the Denver Business Journal in an exclusive interview Thursday, one day after the filing. But with 48% of stores bringing in no revenue, and with some landlords unwilling to renegotiate rent contracts, particularly in urban settings where impotent corporate offices have left foot traffic way down, the filing is necessary for the chain and to reestablish its financial footing. Operations will continue as normal despite the filing. The company will look both at bringing on new partner and at coming out of bankruptcy on its own. Parkside. He emphasized that the fast casual chain intends to honor contracts with suppliers, but said it would look to renegotiate contracts with many of its landlords. Despite bankruptcy and the ongoing coronavirus pandemic that is 100% responsible for the move, Park said Garbanzo will continue its planned opening of a half a dozen new stores through early 2021, including one of the Concourse B of Denver International Airport on August 26. So despite the bankruptcy news, which could be frustrating and I guess almost feel like you're kind of heading backwards, a step backwards, it seems like this would put them, or pretty much position the company in a right place so they can continue to move forward through this pandemic. And it seems like many other companies, such as Garbanzo, is doing the same thing, and hopefully the turnout would be positive in the short term and long term. All right, let's move on, guys. Again, guys, as a reminder, all these links will be in the podcast description for you guys to click those links to further educate yourself and do your own research. Please just don't depend on what I'm reading to you and sharing with you, or any of my opinions as your only source of resource. Do your own research. It's important. It's important to be educated in whatever it is that you're trying to educate yourself in and grow further. Just remember that. So thegardennews.com featured this article, how you can save time by cooking healthy meals. I apologize once again, this article, if it's showing up on your screen as a little bit of a delay, but I think we're working right now. Let's move into it. Most of us do not want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen cooking. That's true. That's why I got myself a nice pressure cooker. A modern pressure cooker. The ones you see like on Amazon, you see a lot of influencers on IG or YouTube talking about. It's the best. Cuts your time in half. Anyhow, we all want to take good care of ourselves by providing healthy meals. We also do not want to spend a lot of time in the grocery store searching for ingredients. If we follow recipes with a short stock, with basic ingredients that you commonly use for quick and easy cooking, shop at a full-service supermarket that has the largest selection of convenience products. Write your grocery shopping list in categories that match the aisles. And this is what I've done, guys. As a private chef, I've done this many years of cooking for clients. Did that sound right? I've done this many times over the course of the years in the chef business. That sounds a little bit better. I could hear my wife saying, babe, that doesn't sound right. Anyhow, so yeah, it's important to organize your list according to the aisles in your grocery store. It will make your life so much easier. I know a lot of shopping is being done online now. You can still organize your list accordingly. But the cool thing about what I've seen with some online stores is that everything is pretty much organized. But having a list just keeps it easier for you to just be in and out. So you spend less time trying to search because you already have your list. You don't have to do that. Write the grocery shopping list in categories that match the aisles in the store, such as dairy, produce, baking needs, and frozen items, just for example. And you could put stuff down like fun foods, and maybe the fun foods are like your chips and cookies. Learn the layout of your grocery store, and you will be surprised how fast you can shop. See, they even said it themselves. So I'm going to scroll down through this a little bit here. there wasn't, I think a part of it just has to do with this site. The site has a lot of ads. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. For some reason, this is crazy. It's like loading like, anyhow. Some preparation tips can save you time. Place a metal colander upside down over a skillet when browning meat or frying bacon to prevent splatter. Use a leafy stalk of celery to base foods. This will eliminate brush washing and would add flavors to foods you are grilling. Heat cubes as needed in soups and main dishes. I'm going to add to this. One of the things that, and I remember a good friend of mine, Larry, he also went to culinary school many years ago, and he spoke about this, and he put me onto this actually. Just break it down until it's like liquid, and freeze it. Freeze it into cubes, just like you did with the broth, and you could use it later on. Again, same way with the broth. You can use it. You can use it in soups. You can add it to dishes, whatever it is. You can add it to meat. You can be. It's so versatile. The flexibility and creativity behind it. It's sky is the limit. So I'm going to add that to what they're saying here in terms of freezing tomato sauce, gravy, and broth. So yeah, they're talking about browning a half a pound of lean ground turkey with a half a pound of lean ground beef, along with other chop onions. Pack it with 1 cup of freezer container or freezer tip top bags. When you need a quick meal, thaw for tacos, meatloaf, or spaghetti. Rinse the measuring cup with cold water, measuring honey or other sticky ingredients. The honey will slide out more easily. Cleanup tips can help save time as well. Line your broiler pan with aluminum foil for instant cleanup. Soak dishes in hot soapy water as you are preparing a meal, and you will not have to scrub them as much later. Spray a grater with cooking spray before shredding soft cheese. The grater will be easier to clean. Marinate ingredients in a heavy-duty zip-top plastic bag. You will have no bowls to clean up later. And look, these are all tips and tricks in your kitchen to save you time. Saving you time is important. I think we all would like to get back some time. I mean, how we get back some time is by being efficient with our time. I mean, there's no way to go back in the past. We're not time travelers like number 5 on the Umbrella Academy. You're probably like, well, what are you talking about? It's a side subject. The Umbrella Academy on Netflix, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Number 5, he has some special powers. When you check it out, you know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, so clean up, use these cleaning tips, measure your dry ingredients before moist, work easier. So, pretty interesting. I'm not going to go further in this. This site is like terrible with loading. It's unbelievable. Anyhow, let's move on. Kitchen.com. Again, links in that bio description area. Well, not bio, but description area, and click the link of your choice, something that you may be interested in, and do your own research. So the biggest mistake people make with their freezers, according to Appliance Repair Pros. So this is a pretty recent article on thekitchen.com. The recent heat wave and warnings from my electric company about possible blackouts has me thinking a lot about my freezer. Right now, I'm about ready to move into my freezer, seriously. Or at least upon the door and stick my head in until I stop sweating. But you know, that would be bad for the freezer and everything inside. There's a lot of reading here. We don't have to get into that. So they listed a few things to keep in mind. Let's see. Start with number 1. You're leaving the door open. Very true. I've done this a few times. So true. And I've seen this done at my client's home too, and literally everything just like to the next morning, like just water dripping out the fridge and everything like that. Is crazy. Anyhow, yes, I mentioned this one already, but do you know why this is actually bad for your freezer? Leaving your door open either because you forgot to close it, you're hunting around for too long, or because your door seal isn't working. More on that below, they explain. Allows for excess frost to form, says Shirley Hood, appliance expert at Apt Electronics, which will stop airflow and the compressor fan from spinning. Number 2, you're overloading your freezer. I've done this too. If your freezer is basically a case study in a how much can I fit into a small space experiment, you're going to have problems, says Hood. Harry Raker, who runs the online appliance repair training site Uncle Harry's Appliance Repair School, agrees. His advice: avoid overpacking and keeping items away from its internal parts, such as the evaporator, fan, or ice maker. The general rule is that your freezer and your fridge, for that matter, should only be 70% of the way full. Number 3, you're underloading your freezer. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, so where's the in between, right? A freezer that's nearly empty is also problematic. According to Chris Zeisler, I think that's how you say it, sorry, a master technician and repair guru at repairclinic.com, freezers actually run less and more efficient if they have a lot of food in them. He says the takeaway: think like Goldilocks and keep your freezer full, but not too full. Again, aim for that 70% rate of fullness. I'm actually curious to know, and I'm probably sure they have this already, if they have refrigerator appliances, these freezer refrigerator appliances that can actually measure that amount, of capacity in the fridge based on maybe based on weight. No, I don't know if that would make sense if it's based on weight. Maybe that could be a part of the whole, I don't know, creation. I don't know. That's interesting. Number 4, you're not cleaning your condenser coils. All these experts recommend periodically cleaning the freezer's condenser coils, which attract dust and grime and will eventually overheat. Because these coils are often found behind the gate, underneath, or behind your refrigerator, chances are you're not cleaning them frequently enough, if at all. I'm going to say a lot of people are probably not cleaning them at all. So Zeiler recommends using a vacuum brush attachment or a coil cleaning brush at least twice a year. Number 5, you're not cleaning the door gasket. The door gasket is the rubber seal that helps keep cold air in to prevent spoilage. Over time, this seal can actually get dirty and start to warp, both of which will cause cold air to escape. So you want to use soap and hot water to wipe it down, wipe down the door gaskets and dry it with a clean towel. Once the door gasket is clean and dry, apply a thin layer of petroleum jelly on the sealant surface of the gasket to extend the life of the gasket. Interesting. Number 6, you're not storing food correctly. Hood says that improper food storage rather than freezer itself can be an issue. The most effective way to prevent foods from going bad in a freezer is to make sure they are stored in containers or bags designed for freezer storage, she advises. And lastly, number 7, you're not defrosting your freezer often enough. Another tip from Hood: set up thawing schedule once a year or whenever you start to see ice buildup that's a quarter to a half of an inch. And whatever you do, do not use an ice pick to get rid of the ice buildup. She adds, as doing so could puncture the walls or, damage the compressor. Instead, put your groceries in a cooler and let the freezer defrost on its own. Then, after that, you can put your stuff back in. But what I would do also after you defrost it is make sure you just clean everything out, give it a nice thorough cleaning, and put everything back in. And this also might be a good time to get rid of all that stuff that you shouldn't be eating as well. I had to throw that out there. All right, guys, let's move on to CBD. New advertising bans, reporting requirements. CBD vape manufacturers and retailers in Germany will face a marketing and regulatory minefield starting in January because of recent changes to the country's tobacco law. Under legislation passed by Germany Bundestag on July 2nd, nicotine e-cigarettes and refillable containers will be regulated the way that their nicotine counterparts are, and additional advertising recreational restrictions will apply to all vaping products regardless of nicotine content. So they go on to say that CBD vape products without nicotine are exempt from Germany's Tobacco Product Act, which prohibits ads for tobacco and nicotine containing vape products in printed media and on radio, television, and online. That also changes in January 1st, 2021, when new legislation takes effect. THC products in Germany are considered narcotics and fall under different rules entirely. Many of my clients not my clients, but their clients, offer CBD containing liquids for e-cigarettes and are concerned about the changes, said Julia, a Hamburg-based attorney for cannabis industry. At the moment, manufacturers and retailers are most concerned about comprehensive advertising ban associated with the change. According to Peter Homburg, who heads the European cannabis practice for Detons Europe LLP in Berlin, the new legislation is just one facet of an increasingly restrictive market for all CBD products in Germany. I'm going to move on. So reporting requirements under the EU's Tobacco Products Directive, manufacturers and importers of nicotine-containing e-cigarettes have been obligated to notify national authorities on their products, ingredients, and emissions. The EU guidance regulates the ingredients that can be used in e-cigarettes and sets stricter limits nicotine content than the United States does. Some speculative that the stricter oversight on vape ingredients may be one reason why the 2019 US vape crisis did not hit Germany or other parts of Europe. Interesting. Let's move on a little bit here. It's a long article, so you guys can always click on that link. Under the new legislation, CBD e-cigarettes manufacturers will be obligated to notify authorities about their products' contents, manufacturing process, and other details. Companies with CBD vape products already on the market when the law takes effect on January 1st. We'll have until January 1st to submit the necessary documents. This change is not so much a restriction, but rather a considerable financial expense. In the future, products may only be released on the market after the notification and a 6-month waiting period. So they're getting strict in this industry with CBD, and it's going to continue in the whole cannabis sector as well, I think. CBD manufacturers should familiarize themselves with the new, more stringent regulation regarding vape products, package inserts, and they're turning at it. That's what they're turning at it. Sorry for the barking in the back. Buddy is, if you know Buddy from my IG, my stories, my TikTok, you know who he is. That's him saying hi in the background. You probably saw something walking around outside and just barking at it. Anyhow, we're going to end off here on Forbes.com, guys. Really interesting article here. Love to share it with you guys. I am all for technology, and I'm extremely fascinated with blockchain technology and where that's going. Not just cryptocurrency. That's just a small part of it, if you ask me, of what's happening. But blockchain is going to be something, it's going to be the technology that pretty much revolutionizes where we're heading in this next decade. So IRS sees Bitcoin tied to terrorists. U.S. Postal Service files blockchain voting patent. Very interesting. Really interesting to see this right here. Let this load a little bit here. Seemed like this is taking a little time. Wasn't? Here we go. So where are we? So get Forbes top crypto and blockchain stories delivered to your inbox. Yeah, we don't need that right now. Let me just go down here. So Bitcoin, so just the crypto market itself, Bitcoin rallies met some resistance this week as it plateaued under 12,000 after a 30% rise in July and early August. A brief bug on the Binance exchange last week showed the futures price suddenly appearing much higher, up to 100,000. So there is speculation. A lot of speculation in the market. I mean, there's speculation across all markets anyway, but heavily speculated. Crypto market is heavily speculated. But what people are speculating is, and they're speculating Bitcoin in this bull run, this current bull run that we're in, to get up to about 100K. And some people have said 250,000. So we'll see. We'll see. Each if you do your own research on Bitcoin's timeline, Bitcoin has been around for quite some time already, over a decade. You'll see that every time a halving has happened, a 1.5 to 2 year period, 2 years might be stretching it a little bit. I could be a little off with that. But within that period is when the bull run starts. You'll see Bitcoin go up, and you'll see all the altcoins follow. And Bitcoin would top off at all-time high, and people will take profits, and a lot of those, a lot of the Bitcoin money will fall into the altcoins, and usually will fall into your top altcoins. So back when this whole pandemic, which is not too long ago, back in March, Chainlink was trading at somewhere around, well, when the stock market dipped, you know, people were fearful, took their money out, pulled out, and the cryptocurrency market had the same reaction, right? So Chainlink was, I want to say, before that happened, Chainlink was trading around $3. That when the dip happened, I want to say Chainlink came down to maybe $1 and change. I don't remember the name of the actual number. Numbers. Chainlink, as of today or yesterday, hit $20. $20. Crazy. Things are moving, guys. We're in a bull run. It seems like slow and steady. The bull run is not like at its peak yet. It's sort of like crawling. So let's see here. What else are they talking about? here on Forbes. So let's scroll up here. This little, there we go. Seem like we're loading. Let me just scroll down a little bit. So voting on blockchain, with the U.S. Postal Service at the forefront of the news as the protest of mail-in voting has become a political flashpoint. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office revealed that the USPS filed a patent in February for a system that can use the security of blockchain and the mail to provide a reliable voting system. The system would give voters a code in the mail to store their ballot information while ensuring anonymity. So IRS cracks down on terror. The U.S. Justice Department announced that the IRS seized millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin tied to ISIS and many other terrorist organizations. The armed branch of Hamas, the IRS Criminal Investigation Unit, used undercover agents to expose money laundering schemes after the terrorist groups called for Bitcoin donations on social media. Don Fort, the criminal investigation chief for the IRS, said the seize directly prevents. More than 20 institutions have filed paperwork showing they've invested in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, a useful proxy for institutional interest in cryptocurrency. The firm with the most disclosed holdings of GBTC is 4.5 billion mutual fund. GBTC, if you have a Roth IRA, traditional IRA, you should be able to find that ticker, and you can actually invest into GBTC right into your IRA. They also have Grayscale. They also have a XRP trust. They have a Stellar trust and a few others. Check them out, Grayscale. Also, if you don't know, itrustcapital is a IRA, a cryptocurrency IRA that you can invest in, obviously, and trade without worrying so much about your taxes currently. So if you're in a Roth, obviously you're paying taxes now. You put your money in, you don't pay your tax later. If you're in traditional, you put your money in pre-tax and pay your tax later when you take it out. So check out itrustcapital. I'll leave the link in the bio, a little referral link. You could click the link, or you don't have to. You can go to Google and Google itrustcapital, whichever one works best for you. And that's pretty much for today. Covered a lot here. A lot of making the right lifestyle decisions for yourself during this pandemic cleanse that we're all going through. So be well. Catch you guys on the next one. Stay healthy. I'm Chef T, and once again,